Welcome to practice set number 1 of AP Computer Science A, AP Multiple Choice Review. The first question is dealing with a method, and it's saying, I'm going to read the question first. Which of the following can be used to replace the body of calculate so that the modified version of calculate will return the same result as the original version for all x? Okay, so here's what I notice is x was not given a value. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick a random value for x. Doesn't really matter what value, but I'm going to plug in the value. So I'm going to say, you know what? X can be 2 inside of here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to figure out what is X at the end of this method. So X starts at 2. 2 plus 2 is given back to X, so that would be 4, right? 4 plus 4, because that's both X. 8 is what X is now. 8 plus 8, that's 16, and that's what I am returning. Now, here's what's cool, is if x is 2, one of these should spit out 16 as well. So 3 plus 2, that's 5. That's not going to work, right? 3 times 2, that's 6. That's not 16. 4 times 2, 8. 6 times 2, 12. 8 times 2, 16. It has to be E because they have to be the same answer, same result. That's what allows me to know that one's it. Now, I could plug other values into x. I could plug in 3. I could plug in -1. They should all spit out E for an answer. So this one, having that information was probably the easiest, is just picking a value. Number 2 is kind of a really big function. I'm going to read this thing too. Which of the following method calls will cause W to be printed? Okay, so now I'm going to try each of these. What is it? 10, 10. Okay. Is 10 less than 10? No. Well, with that, I can stop, right? Because that's how a W gets printed. If I say no to that and it's an and, I can't do it. So 1 is definitely not the answer. So I'm not even going to keep reading. What about this one? -5, comma 5. Well, -5 is less than 5, okay? And my A needs to be greater than 0. My A is not greater than 0, so it can't be that one. What is it? Okay, 7 is less than 10, true, and 10 is greater than, or excuse me, 7 is greater than 0. That is true. So 3 is the only answer. It's got to be C. There we go. Notice, I didn't even read the rest of that code. I really didn't care because all I care about is which one made it printed a W. So sometimes when you're doing these codes or doing this code and reading this multiple choice, because remember, you only have 2 minutes and 15 seconds per question, technically. This one was going to give me a little bit more time to read another question that's a little bit harder because I didn't read through all of them. I don't care what the other things print out. I just want to know which one prints a W. Last one on number 1. I'm going to read the question first. What is printed as a result of executing the code segment? Sad day. Can't super quick do this one. A starts as 24, so I want to make note of that. And B is starting at 30. B is not equal to 0. So I'm going to do this as long as B is not equal to 0. R is created. 24 mod 30. Now remember mod gives you the remainder. So 24 divided by 30. Well, 30 can't go into 24. So the remainder is 24 because I can't divide. A is assigned what B is. There you go. B is assigned what R is. Okay. B is still not equal to 0, so we're going to do it again. So 30 divided by 24. We can do 124 in there. We'll get 6 for our remainder this time. So A is going to become B. B is going to become R. B is still not equal to 0, so we got another round to go. I'm running out of room over there. 24 divided by 6. That'll be 4. Remainder of 0. So A becomes what B is. B becomes what R is. Oh, notice, B has become 0. I have to stop, so I'm going to print out my A, which is 6. So this one, you did need to know what remainder is. You had to do a little bit of quick math. Notice though, this tracking of A, B, and R right beside one another on your booklet, because remember, you're allowed to scribble all over your booklet. I would make sure you do that because it does help you while you're doing these problems. And with that, that is the end of practice set number 1.